There's beef, bro.
Oh yeah,
There is beef.
I love that you bring this up right away.
There is beef.
Definitely. I think
The
everybody knows what we're talking about.
the world in the last like probably 10 days has been a very exciting one, especially in the world of music,
Yes,
in the world of hip hop.
absolutely.
Drake versus Kendrick Lamar. Well, whose team are you on?
I'm definitely on Kendrick's.
There's no way.
Yeah,
Why?
100%.
No, it's Team Drake, bro.
Man, it's just if you get down to it, if you're listening to like hip hop pop music and like you're looking for catchy tunes, yeah, Drake's definitely got more tracks. He's
Yep.
definitely a more established artist in that sense. But when it comes to like raw hip hop and lyrics and stuff like that, you always got to fall back. And people in Harvard are studying Drake's lyrics. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. So I think Drake's up there.
Sorry, not Drake. Sorry, people in Harvard are studying Kendrick lyrics. That's my bad.
Ooh.
My bad.
Ooh,
I
okay.
meant to say it the other way around.
Okay, we definitely know the context because we're big hip hop fans. But if anyone has not been caught up, or if you're not a hip hop fan, basically Kendrick Lamar, Drake, one of the top two, three. Well, J. Cole's in there as well
Yeah.
in terms of the big three in hip hop. And it started out with just a couple small disses on a couple songs here and there, and then all of a sudden it got real. Where as the days progressed, as the hours progressed, both of them dropped songs uh, like right after one another,
Hmm.
and they were going at each other. They talked about each other's kids, families, sexual assault allegation, pedophilia,
Their
their
careers.
careers, like a lot of like heavy things. And the greatest part of this is it's all through music.
Yeah,
It's
it's
so
quite amazing. I gotta say,
entertaining as hell.
super entertaining and like almost it's coming out so fast it's hard to keep up with, right? Like it baffles me. It blows my mind to think that these people are able to write this stuff that is so layered so fast. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And like just pump it out. I'm like, oh my gosh, how long have they been, plotting on this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because we talked about it last week, just like after we finished recording last week.
Hmm.
We're like, yo, did you see Drake dropped like I guess push-ups was the first like official
Hmm.
against him, and I was playing it here in the studio
Hmm.
before we were recording. And then a week later, now there's so many songs that have been dropped. Uh, what was your initial reaction when you saw like it happening? Like, did you think? I'm gonna be honest, I did not think it was real.
I thought, yeah, it was like just another like publicity
Yeah,
stunt
yeah.
or something like that, or marketing scheme where like, oh, we'll get the best rappers to like have a little beef, and then
Hmm.
like people will like really be into hip hop like they were in the '90s again, kind
Yeah.
of thing, right? But like, obviously, it's not the same as Tupac and Biggie, West Coast, East Coast kind of thing. There's not
Hmm.
the same connotation behind it because it's not like a bunch of people backing these people and like going against each other. More so, it's just like a public phenomena, and I think that people are just interested in it's entertaining. So it is different,
Hmm.
but in the same way, it is sort of the same.
True.
But it definitely isn't that. No,
No.
it definitely is a little deeper than that.
Yeah, I originally just was like, oh, like, okay, they, like, because the shots weren't, like, too deep at the beginning.
No.
Like, I guess Drake's line was, like, Metro makes some beats, and then he
Yeah.
came at, like,
Yeah.
Kendrick a little bit, be like, yo, I'm better than you. Just, like, small, like, nothing crazy. And it got crazy after, like, then they started bringing up each other's, like, kids and family, and then I was like,
Yeah.
oh, like, this is, like, you don't just do this for fun. Like,
No.
no one's just doing this. My question to you is, like, behind the scenes, how do you think this is going down? Like, are they actually mad? Is what I'm saying. So, like,
Oh, for
pretend you're
sure.
Kendrick, pretend I'm Drake, right? So, I drop push-ups, Drake drops push-ups. Like, is someone on your team being like, "Yo, Drake just dropped. Like, listen to this," and then you're in the room and you're like, "Oh, I'm mad at this song," but like the song kind of slaps, so you can't even be like
Yeah.
mad at the song, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna go make another song, and then do you just hop like, how do you think this actually went down? Because I have some speculation, but I have no idea.
So I honestly I don't know how it all like began back and forth, but what I do know is that I think Kendrick took the original kind of jab, like the big jab, right?
Hmm.
And
That's with like that, right, on the Metro or the Future song.
I
Is that what
think,
you're talking
yeah, I
about?
think that's the first one that he took the big jab there. Because there was a couple before that that were like just kind of like slights
He did.
here and there that were like that's when we were still thinking it was fun banter, right?
Hmm.
But after that, that you notice how J. Cole kind of like faded out,
So okay, let's talk about
did a
J.
little
Cole.
bit of an apology, and it's like, maybe I'm not, maybe not such a
Mhm.
good idea for me, you know?
Yeah. So wait, but they apparently these guys have been beefing for years. Like they like each other, but they don't like each other. They do shows together, but they're not really like close like that. But then I guess first person shooter, like the one with Drake and Cole,
Hmm.
which was on Drake's album, that's the one where like they count like the line is like mm, the big three. Let me talk about big three: K. Dot, Drake, and Cole, and then Kendrick's responding in the future song with screw the big three, it's just big me. So I
Hmm.
think like that's like 1, 2, like I guess if we could put it. I don't even know if you want to put if you're first person shooter as 1 and 2, but like
And it's
still.
the way I'm kind of like looking at it is it's more or less just like a bit of an ego battle,
Hmm.
and or maybe it isn't an ego battle as much as it is like Kendrick wanted to challenge their egos,
Mm.
and J. Cole just isn't the type to have a big ego, and I think that Drake being the like persona that he is,
Yeah.
and in the position that he is, like people talk about how like he's made almost enough pop hits to like almost
Be
rival
a
Michael
pop.
Jackson and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that and stuff. So like,
Hmm.
which is I don't think even if he does numbers wise, I don't think he's ever gonna top the King of Pop. But like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, good for him. I gotta say that is an accomplishment and a feat in its own. So
Hmm.
like, but I think he's what Kendrick is kind of saying is like I'm in a separate caliber kind of thing.
Mm.
Like your music isn't my music,
Yeah, yeah.
and I totally get that.
Yeah,
You
I
know what
can
I
see it.
mean?
It's different. It's different.
It is. Like I know a lot of people who like Drake but like can't stand listening to Kendrick. But I'm the type of person, me personally, who's like I don't mind listening to Drake and I don't mind listening to Kendrick. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Like I think they're both respectable musical artists, but I would agree and say that their music isn't the same
Yeah.
at all, you
No,
know?
no. I agree. Their music is not the same. And to be honest, I can only name you a handful of Kendrick bangers, and I can name a lot more Drake bangers.
Yeah, that's
Like in terms of
100%
bangers,
fair.
I mean like just like top records
Hmm.
that have been like recognized on like a global scale.
Yeah,
Like Kendrick's got some, and the ones that Kendrick's got are like hits.
definitely.
But I would say that Drake definitely has more of those.
Yeah.
And
Well, and Drake also, he probably has like 3 times as much
music.
music.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Drake is in the game, like
Yeah.
consistently I say posting, like, like
Releasing,
releasing
yeah.
releasing music,
Yeah.
right? And so like after, yeah, I guess like 2016, whatever his Views thing. Oh, I might be wrong on the dates, but whatever. Like Views album, then Scorpions, and there's a bunch of been more, and then the last like year has been dropping yearly almost.
Yeah, it's true.
So compared to Kendrick, yeah, he does definitely. And but then Kendrick came out with his album, Mr. Morale. It wasn't great. It was mid. It was mid.
Yeah, that's fair.
It was mid.
Like it's funny that we're having this conversation about their music and like the differentiations between it because like I am just starting to think about like how there are kind of like two sides to the music world in that sense,
Mm,
in the sense where there's listeners and critiquers.
yeah.
And I think that a lot of the critiquers aren't paying as much attention to like the pop music side of
Mm,
things, but all of the listeners, the people who are making the artists money,
yeah.
are listening to pop music. You know what I mean? And they're not critiquing music. So like,
Mm,
I think it kind of falls down to like what is their marker for success? You know what I mean? Or what like how are
yeah,
they
yeah.
dictating like where their career is supposed to go,
That's true.
and how they feel successful with their own lives, right?
Mhm.
Which
The
is interesting.
the reason I would say it's Team Drake is because numbers wise, and like
Mm,
I'm a numbers guy. Like no, like we look at the analytics for the shows. We look at like
definitely.
financial statements for businesses, whatever. Like I'm like, okay, if the numbers are high, that means you're doing something right, or you're also doing something wrong, but you're getting a lot of eyeballs in the world of entertainment. That's the game,
Hmm.
eyeballs, attention. So if you look comparative number wise, I do think Drake is a much bigger artist numbers wise than
100%.
Kendrick.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I'm not going to disagree with that.
Hmm.
But that also could be like just an exposure thing. Because I will. One thing that is interesting to me is that in the history of hip hop music, and I don't know if this is, I think it's just hip hop music. I think there's other musical artists that have done this feat, but no other artist has won a Pulitzer Prize for their music
Mm.
other than Kendrick Lamar.
What is that?
Um, how do I describe a Pulitzer Prize? It's like kind of like the Nobel Prize in a sense. It's very
Hmm.
like similar caliber,
Okay.
and it's like a contribution to humanity
So is
prize.
that bigger than the Grammys?
Yes.
Is
Yeah.
it? Okay.
I would say that like because it's not like solely for music. You can win a
Gotcha.
Pulitzer Prize being like a doctor or
Mm.
something like
Okay,
that.
okay, so it's like a high level of recognition, like a
Yeah,
Nobel Prize kind of vibe.
exactly.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
very close to a Nobel Prize.
Got it,
Yeah,
got it.
but that's what I mean though. It's just like two different
Yeah, yeah.
worlds. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
I think, yeah, they probably, and again, we're just a bunch of guys just yapping in a room, but I do think that it's probably the Drake's looking at like, yo, I'm just a bigger artist than you.
Yeah.
I'll do more shows than you. I will sell more tickets than you. I just came off my tour, like I'm him.
Hmm.
And Kendrick's going like, yeah, okay, sure, you're him, but like, bro, like, you don't have a stable family. You don't have a life outside of this. Like, you are, sure, you're hanging out with all these women and doing all these things that probably like you're not being a good role model to the younger generation. If that's the vibe, that's the vibe I get.
Yeah.
That's the vibe I'm seeing.
It's almost like he's. Um, I feel like Kendrick kind of picked up the fact that Drake's ego is kind of what he builds himself off
Yeah.
of. And this is, like I said, is kind of his persona and everything.
Mhm.
And that if he picks apart his ego, it's kind of like picking apart this whole character that he's built up. Because obviously, like
Mm.
every musical artist has like a character or a persona that they portray on stage for like, entertainment purposes and all
Mhm.
that. And like, I think that when you start to pick apart that, it like, it destroys that image that all your or some of your fans have in their head of you, and like that really affects you.
Mhm.
And I think it was I think Universal Music Group contacted Kendrick Lamar, or no, contacted Drake,
Okay.
and basically advised him to stop responding
Really?
because they're losing money on stocks.
No, they're not. There's no way.
Universal Music
There's
Group
no
got
way that
involved, man, and
there is no way
a
they're
hundred.
there's no way this is probably helping there.
Well,
There's no way
that's
they're losing
that's one
money.
argument, but they're afraid that they're afraid that their stock their investment on Drake as a person
Nah, it's not true. That
could
can't be
start
true.
to diminish.
That can't be
Not their
true.
stock as a company and as a
Yeah.
whole, but like they have obviously just like Nike is invested
Yeah,
in
yeah,
it,
yeah.
and like so they want to keep
Yo,
a
that's crazy.
certain.
Do you think Nike's gonna pull their deal with Drake?
Think about what was said, man. I don't know.
That's
It's tough.
crazy.
It's a tough situation, right? If it
Oh,
was like anything else that he would have said,
that's
this would
true.
be
I didn't think
different,
about that. I didn't
right?
think
This
about
would be. I don't think they would have said anything to
that.
Drake
Okay, but
otherwise.
here's the thing. Is it facts? Is it true? Nobody knows, right? Until you come with receipts, you could just say anything in a song.
It's true. I mean, I do remember that one concert with that.
Which
You don't remember that concert with Drake? It was like
Mhm.
5 years back. There's a circulating video where he was on stage with he brought a girl up on stage and asked her like, how old are you and this and that, and she said, I'm 17.
Oh,
And then he's like, oh yeah, and he like kissed her on the forehead and then the cheeks and then the mouth, and
come on,
then
bro. We
he's
can't be
like,
doing that.
yeah, I know, right? And like so I think it was in between the era of like Neo and R. Kelly and like
Okay,
Usher
okay,
and all
okay.
that. So like that kind of stuff was going on stage where they would like do those weird dances and try to
Mhm.
like get the girls going and all that. But like he took it a little too far, and after the girl had already said her age, it was kind of like, oh man,
Yeah, yeah. If that's true, put him in jail. Like,
you know,
yeah. If that's true, if if there is like disputable like refutable facts that okay, like Drake is a pedophile, put him in jail.
yeah,
Put him in jail. Put anyone in jail for that. But if it's just an accusation
yeah,
and there is no either someone came out, there's no proof, and it's not even it's in a song. Like if the only thing they're taking to court or whatever it may be is a song, then
yeah.
then that is a horrible
Thrown
accusation.
out the,
That is a
you know,
horrible accusation to put on a man or a person.
100%,
Like
100%. I think that he is treading dangerous waters for sure.
yeah,
You,
yeah, yeah.
like, especially because that could lead to a defamation lawsuit. Who knows if it turns
The
out
whole
not to be
songs are
true?
defamation
It's true.
laws.
Yeah, it is
Like,
true. Yeah,
why is
that is
it?
true. I gotta say, it's pretty
Both
bad.
sides are both defamation
Yeah.
lawsuits just waiting to happen.
Oh, I mean, did you see that music video where Drake's wearing Kendrick Lamar's wife's ring on his
Yeah,
neck?
yeah, the Family Matters one.
Oh man, I was like, that's. I mean, he could have had it like replicated, but I was like, I think he bought it from her.
They're coming at each other.
Yeah.
Like Drake saying, "Yo, your son's not your actual son."
Or
Like,
yeah, I was gonna say, I was gonna bring up.
come on.
We don't even know if Drake's
Has a
daughter
has a
is real or
daughter.
not.
That's
You know what
true.
I mean? Like,
Okay,
we
so
have no idea.
fun fact, statistically wise. So, um, Kendrick's, I would say probably the best song that came out. And I've been bumping it. Not gonna lie. Not like us, or
Yeah,
like what? It's not like
yeah,
us.
not like us. Yeah,
Not banger,
it is good.
banger
Eh?
of a song. Uh,
So good, man. It's a,
not like yeah. It just makes you wanna. It just makes you wanna
yeah.
But
It's
anyway,
that. It's that. No, it's that way.
um, it went. It's I think it went or is tied to be number one,
Yeah.
and it's for
Wow.
Kendrick's first solo number one single or song.
Interesting.
Drake's response, the other one I forgot. The heart of the heart number six,
Yep.
the the most disliked video on YouTube, or I wouldn't say most, but it's up there.
Are you
It's
serious?
up there. It
Wow.
has like more than 1 million plus dislikes. Um, Statistically wise, yeah, those are the numbers right there. So now in that case, could you say Kendrick won? Sure, it's a banger of a song. I'm not gonna lie. I've been playing on repeat. But what is the criteria that people are judging this win over? Like, I guess like
That's a good question.
if we go back to let's say Pusha T and Drake,
Yeah.
the clear winner there was Pusha T just because he revealed the fact that Drake had a son that nobody knew about.
Mhm.
That's a dub. Take it. No matter what Drake said,
And Drake
it's a dub.
Drake turned away
Yeah, yeah.
from that.
And he was
done.
like, he was like, you can't really say like
damn it.
it's true.
Yeah.
It's true, right? So what do you judge this beef off of? Because it's technically not over yet, is
Yeah,
it?
no.
Like nobody has dropped in the last couple of days, but like still, it's still up in the air, and I don't even know if people are going to. I'm also like, I'm also thinking like, did they run out of stuff to say?
Yeah.
Like if it's like you made the
Sort of.
accusation, you talked about his wife, you talked about their kids, you talked about like what else is there? If there is nothing on either one of these guys, what else are you gonna say?
It is kind of getting to that point where like, yeah, the ammunition's running dry a little bit, eh?
So if right now we were to just call it like it's and nobody else drops for the next thing, like what maybe Kendrick comes out an album 2 years later, Drake comes out 2 years later, they both drop an album, and then nobody really speaks on it anymore. How are you personally judging this battle? Like how are you gonna judge it?
Me personally,
Yeah.
I would just say like Kendrick. I would say he won.
Well, what's your criteria? What's your criteria?
And my criteria on that is there's a few different criteria. I would say that like public consensus is one, and especially like looking at the younger people and how they react, especially because like a lot of younger people are very Drake centric, and there's been a few like teachers and stuff making videos about how their schools have kind of switched up a little bit over the last couple of weeks, which is crazy, crazy to think about. But like the other criteria, and for me personally, the main criteria would be just the fact that Kendrick's songs came out so quickly and were so layered that it took like scholars like days to break down all of the triple, quadruple, quintuple entendres that he's put into the lyrics that he's written, and figure out exactly like how many things he's trying to say at once. And like Drake's would drop, and it's like, oh, okay, you listen to it once, and you're like, I get what he's trying to say. You know what I mean? You listen to it once or twice, and you're like, oh, I made it the second time. You're like, oh, I didn't hear that part.
That is true. I would say, yeah, Kendrick's lyrically wise, I think there's more like you got to break it down. You got to break it down. You got to listen to it a couple times and be like, and you still don't get it.
Yeah.
The way that I'm like searching the day that they dropped, I was like searching on YouTube. I was like, someone's got to break it down. Someone's got to have broken it down. I found a couple good videos, but like no, like I was trying to look at the day of, but nobody had actual breaking down lyrics of everything. I'm sure right now, if we were to check, I'm sure people have looked into it. I was gonna say that what I was looking up is the real winner in all of this beef.
J. Cole.
Well, yeah, okay. One, J. Cole. The meme about J. Cole is hilarious. the memes about J. Cole are hilarious. I want to get the exact name here, but the Chinese restaurant that's in
Oh yeah, that's
in
right.
Toronto.
100%. That guy is
New Ho King.
rolling.
New Ho King is
Yeah,
what the restaurant's called. That man is running his business.
seriously. People coming from the States to go
States to
there.
come sit and
Yeah.
like talk about it. So, in terms of a real winner, he goes. I would say that guy's winning.
Yep,
Um,
I agree.
they, I don't even know if he's picking a side. I don't even know. He's from Toronto, but like Kendrick mentioned him in the song, so it's like, but he's just happy to. I saw an interview of him on the news. Like the news is outside his store. There's like people singing the songs outside of his store, like storefront. Just a small business. Just I don't even know if it's a small business, but just a business.
He's probably giddy.
Profiting like
Yeah.
crazy. Going back to how I would judge the beef in terms of who won, I'm just going like, to be honest, I'm just going like, who made the better of the songs? Which one can I still listen to like a year from now and be like, oh, and bang it, and bang it. And the reason I say that is because when I guess Drake was beefing with Meek Mill, Back to Back's a fire song.
Yeah.
And I will continue to listen to it. I heard Back to Back before I knew Drake and Meek Mill had a beef. Like that was like when I first started getting into Drake, and I was like, oh, like this song's fire. And then you go deeper, and you're like, oh, this is what the response was for something.
Interesting.
So I, in terms of that, I will quantify the songs, and I'm not gonna lie, in terms of the overall volume that came out, I will say Drake has two better songs than Kendrick's one, and that would be the first Push Up song, which slaps, and then the Family Matters where he switches up three times, like three different beat switches. I
That's
just
fair.
like those songs in terms of like I would just bump them and like vibe to them. All the slow stuff where they're actually like breaking down stuff, I'm not a huge fan. I could care less.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would even say the same thing. I think the only song out of Kendrick's that he released that I listened to again was the
Yeah.
this one.
Yeah, the
Not
not
like
like
us.
us,
Yeah,
not
bro.
bang
That
a
was
song.
good.
I'm not gonna lie, that song slaps.
Yeah.
That song slaps. And it's almost enough to slap that it will outweigh Drake's other two.
Well, you know what? He really went back to that West Coast sound with that
Mhm.
song, and I think that really helped a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He decided to like not do so much artistic kind of
Yeah.
dabbling and was like, I'm just gonna go back to the roots.
Because it's one thing to diss a guy, but then it's another thing to diss a guy and then the song be played for years and years after in clubs. The NBA,
That's tough.
the NBA played Not Like Us at like the halftime transition, like when they go to like when they go to commercial between quarters. In the back, they're playing Not Like Us.
Damn, that is tough,
It's
bro.
being played at like some like NHL arenas too, and so to be able to have like diss a guy, and it's a direct diss. It's not like he's calling the man out, but it's just bumped so hard that it is getting radio play and is on its way to being number one. Kendrick's first solo number one. Like, yeah.
That's pretty crazy, yeah.
So
To pivot on the topic that we're on,
mhm.
talking about sports and stuff, I know I didn't bring this up beforehand, but do you know who the streamer Sketch is?
I've heard of him. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know much about him, but I've heard of him. Yeah.
So I didn't know too much about him, but like I do like pay attention to like the streamer world and all
Sure.
those kind of guys because they're actually making big moves
Mhm.
and like they make a ridiculous amount of money doing what they do
100%.
and they're definitely like kind of taking over the entertainment industry in a way, or found their own kind of classification for themselves,
Mhm.
and I just find it really interesting to see how this Sketch character has just exploded,
Mhm.
especially in the sports world, and been given so many opportunities so fast and just been like absolutely jumped on because there's been tons of streamers in the past that have had lots of success. Like think Ninja did
Yeah.
the ball drop at New Year's or
Yeah.
whatever, and
Yeah. Uh-huh.
there's been a few other notable things, but like the Sketch Kid got the opportunity to read off one of the draft picks during the
did see
draft.
that. I did
Which
see
is
that.
really crazy. Usually you
Did
gotta like
see
own
that.
a team or something
It's
to do
happened
that, you know?
before.
Yeah.
I remember Ryan Trahan, the YouTuber, he was able to do that
Oh
too.
yeah? Okay.
Yeah, he's done it before.
Fair enough then.
Uh,
But like yeah, like
that's
just
big though.
these big press runs he's been doing and like how like his little,
Mhm.
you know, what's up, brother? Just super infectious. Like you see it everywhere, and it's just like
Yeah.
almost inescapable. And I think that it's like this guy is like a phenomena in
Hmm.
a sense, and like seeing how he's kind of been like all over the place so quickly is really cool. Do you have anything to?
I'm personally like in the streaming world. I'm not huge, but I'm like in the world of content. So I
Yeah, you
definitely
see
see
it.
I
Yeah.
definitely see it. And yeah, when people make those sort of moves, like yeah, I saw the NFL draft, him calling that out because it's a big thing like in the creator world, right?
Hmm.
Like traditional media is kind of traditional media, and they kind of keep it that way, and it's been closed off for a very long time. But now you're slowly starting to see people who are able to get attention and
Hmm.
retain attention of masses. Um, those guys and traditional media is looking at it like NFL is looking at it like even if we just look business wise, NFL is looking at it like oh like this kid is getting millions of views on a daily basis to people who are interested in him. Sure, of course we want to be associated with them. It's the younger generation. If the football is going to be here for a very very long time, we want to get audiences who are younger more interested in the world of football. Like I don't see that's a bad and any other brand too.
Hmm.
Why would they not want that?
Yeah, no,
So
absolutely. I think it's definitely a smart business move on both
yeah,
sides of the table, right? Like this for Sketch, like
sketch has credibility.
yeah, he's
It's like
and probably lots of money.
yeah, money
You
too,
know?
credibility. It's like the cosign is like we talk about on the show like like here like the cosign from people that come on our show,
Hmm.
the cosign from the people that we work with outside of the show. Like it's a big deal. Like it builds credibility, of course,
Definitely.
right?
Hmm.
So it gives legitimacy to even to for us, for example, like
Opens doors.
when we have people who are established in the city who are doing something that are worth it, or if they do something like 2 years ago, and now all of a sudden they're doing major things. It's credibility. It's like oh my god,
Hmm.
like and I want to give a shout out. We had so I went to a concert. Speaking of like I went to a concert.
Oh, you were saying, yeah.
Diljit Dosanjh's concert. He's a Punjabi artist,
Hmm.
but we had Sui was on our show. She was one of she's an engineer. She's a dancer. She was on our show uh, like probably 2 years ago, and she
So
got
one of the first kind of guests on.
yeah, pretty far back, and she was able to, it's a crazy feat, but she was able to be the backup dancer for Diljit Dosanjh
Cool.
and be one of the choreographers. So I reached out to her, I showed her love, but um,
That's awesome.
yeah, it's just it's small things like that that really say like, oh, like listen, like there's people in Winnipeg doing major things, and I know she had a blast. I know her and her choreography team were killing it. So
Well, I think,
sweet, if you're listening, shout out to you.
yeah, big shout out. I
Go
think
watch the episodes linked up here.
what we were just talking about, like when it comes to how certain talents just come out of nowhere,
Hmm.
and I think that like a lot of these people who have these like particular talents are just under recognized, and we've talked about this more than once, but that's like Winnipeg in a nutshell.
Yeah,
Is a lot of talent that is just really under recognized, and
100%.
I think that there's a lot of factors that play into that, and one of the biggest factors would be the fact that we just don't have a lot of people in the city,
Hmm.
and we don't have a ton of economic infrastructure when it comes to the art world, even though that's probably what our city focuses on the most.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think that what we do it really is, kind of playing a hand to helping people with their journey and going from the Winnipeg, celebrity or whatever you want to call it, or Winnipeg successful
Hmm.
to
To
maybe,
global.
going international,
Yep.
national, right? Stuff like that, right?
100%. Yeah, and it takes everyone. Like the city's made by the people in it,
Yeah.
right? You need people, and you need people to be inspired to be like, okay, I want to do something for this city. Like I wouldn't like we're definitely not close, but we're definitely taking our steps to it in
Yeah.
terms of on the show of that's our goal. We
Yeah.
want to
100%.
show that our this is our city. Like I'm not moving anywhere anytime soon, at least in my near future right now. But that's the goal. Like if this is what you got, just run for it, prove for it, and make it happen. So you need people like that. You definitely
Well, and like you said, we got to support each other because we are a small city,
do.
and if you think you can do it alone, you can't.
No,
Good luck.
no, no. Yeah, and then the small things that just inspire, right? Like if watching this or watching someone else do something amazing, like inspiring, just okay, like I want to do that too. It's not out of jealousy. It's not a hate. It's like, oh my God, like that person did that. Like even again, like I'll go back to the concert thing. Like watching someone who I talk to or I'd consider a friend be on stage and doing like an actual show and like 15,000 people just like dancing.
Hmm.
That's a feat. Like
Yeah,
congrats. Like
absolutely. Yeah.
that's an insane feeling. And so
You did a performance for thousands of people,
yeah,
you know?
like that's insane.
Yeah.
So and it comes down to yeah, you just keep trugging away one step at a time.
Well, and also like those little opportunities open those doors.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's how you kind of, you know,
Snowball.
find your way, right?
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Speaking about snowball and small little steps, I'm doing a running challenge.
Ah, yeah, that's great. I've
uh,
been watching you. I've been liking your videos on TikTok.
I appreciate the love. Yeah, this daily content thing is difficult, bro.
I bet.
I'm okay with this once a week, kind of like, it's edited, it's kind of we do it, but the daily grind, I'm learning a new love for the people who did like vlogs, 18-minute, 20-minute vlogs every single day, and very high energy. Like mine, I've established some sort of format for it. That's not too difficult, but again, like it's insane. So
You still
I
gotta edit it
I still
too.
got to edit. It's like it's on a yeah. I'm learning. So for those of you who don't know, I'm running or I'm training to attempt to beat the 5K record at the Manitoba Marathon. The record is 14 minutes and 10 seconds to run 5K, which is super quick.
I was
Like
gonna
that's
say,
not like that's fast.
very well paced,
Like
yeah.
this man is fast. The original goal, and I said this on Anna's episode, was to run the 50K.
Mm.
I wanted to because I did the 10K the first year, then half, then full, and I was like, okay, this year I'm going to run the 50. And so before I was about to film, so I was going to do 50 days for running 50K, training to run 50 days and
Mhm.
50K. The day I begin to train, I was like, maybe I should register for the event. That's probably a good idea. And so I film like the beginning. I'm like, oh, welcome to day 1 of 50. And I go to register and I realize they canceled the event.
Oh,
They literally canceled the 50K event,
well,
the race. So there's the 5, the 10, the half, and the full, but there's no 50K. And I think the reason is because 23 people signed up last year.
uh,
So it's not like a lot of people in Manitoba are like, oh, I'm going to run the 50K. But that was always a goal of mine. But I guess, so then I had to pivot and I was like, okay, I'm going to pick something else. The only distance I hadn't done was 5. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to do 5. But I am struggling, if that's the word.
yeah.
It's tough. It's
What
tough.
what day are you on now?
Today will be 11.
Okay.
So today will be 11. That's Saturday. By the time people see this, probably 14, 15. But yeah, it's fun. No, it's not actually. I lied. It's not a good time.
Well, hard work isn't
Because not only like I also want to be authentic in my thing as well. Like the whole purpose of it is to be authentic and like just show the general journey. So, but now that I know that I'm filming it and I'm also putting it out, I also have an urgency to like prove myself to say that I can do it. So the first run I did was like 35 minutes, 36 minutes, slow. Like that's like people can do that.
Mhm.
So yeah, and I look too, and even to come in like the top 50, because a lot of people run the 5K, you need to be like 20 minutes.
Damn.
And if you look at the times, it's like 20 minutes and 1 second, 20 minutes, 2 seconds, 20 minutes, 3 seconds. So it's like
There's a lot of people flowing in around that
a
time.
lot of people. So yeah, I am a long way to go. I have a very, very long way to go, but I'm excited to see if I can. I just want to see a change, if there's a change from the first time I ran to the last time when they were raced in 46 days, or I guess 36 days. I want to see if there's a change, and I want to like my goal, mindset wise, I want to beat that record.
Oh, you mean
But is it possible in 46 days? I don't know, but I will try my absolute best to make it happen.
I think if you keep working at something, eventually you'll get what you want.
Yeah,
But
of course. I've also been enjoying the world of content as well. A lot of people showing love. I guess we're in it's the same thing similar to the pod as well. People show love. But I told you this, but I guess I'll say it as well. I got a brand deal. That's one.
yeah, that's
That's
right.
one side of the content thing that I didn't expect is people or brands reaching out to put their name on me, to put their name on the series, which is
Mhm.
not even really series yet. But yeah.
They want you to make some UGC for them.
Yeah, so we're still working out the deals. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but I just thought it'd be and that came like day 6.
Yeah,
Like
that's nice.
it came right away. So That's what I will see. And you and not I again, like I said, I'm a numbers guy. Like we're numbers people. We look at the analytics. Analytics have been good.
I was gonna say
Analytics,
you got like quite a few consistent likes
yeah,
on the little
and
series you're doing. So
it's consistent. So I guess the only takeaway I would say is I can see if you do it for a longer period of time. Like I'm doing for 46 days, and I kind of just want to stop after 46 days.
yeah,
But I can see if you do some sort of these challenges, and we talked about this like the last couple of boys onlys, where like the marketing trend of day one of, day two of, day three of, where people were talking about making a chess game or the conga line or whatever. Like for every follower I get, I'm going to do this. So
hmm
the trends work. I mean, if you can find something that hooks, I think it's worth it. But
no, it's I think that all started a while back, like years ago, and I was just trying to think about that because we brought it up a few times, but
hmm
I don't know if you remember the milk jug challenges or the watermelon challenges.
oh, explain it.
It People would get like bags of rubber bands,
I do remember. Yep.
and every time somebody joined
Yep.
the live, I put a rubber band on.
100%.
Yeah,
Yep. Yep. That's definitely, yep.
exactly how those all started. It
Mhm.
was people just wanted to see it pop.
I
They
agree.
want to see the final result.
That's so interesting. Like if you just parallel it, like you start with a watermelon, and every time you add a rubber band or milk jug, you're increasing tension.
Yeah, you're adding more
You're
pressure.
more and more pressure.
Yeah,
Similar to the Sears as well. Every day I go by, there's less and less days left, and everyone, yeah, I guess, wants to see the result of will I break it? Will it explode? So
yeah, yeah.
parallels are insane.
It is.
Parallels are insane. So I
I
can
mean,
see it's a human instinct,
I was gonna say that's
psychology,
that psychology. Yeah,
psychology.
yeah,
So
yeah. It's interesting, man. Yeah.
I'll give another update in my life. Not that anyone really cares, but yeah, to this week was the first week I became an official entrepreneur, if that's the word.
Yeah.
Um, got a small little office. Got a just grinding it out, like working around people who have the businesses of their own, and just trying to grow something. It's the first like kind of because it's summer for us. If for any of you don't know, then it's a time where most times people I've had a summer job for the last couple of years, and this time I've been fortunate enough to be able to technically almost work for myself,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's been a fun. It honestly it's very enjoyable. Managing the hours is a little hard because I kind of just go until I get bored, and sometimes I just go until I just keep going and the same day again. But it's been a good like I like it. It's like I don't hate it.
As long as you're getting work done, man.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I genuinely enjoy the fact. So
And like, well, I mean, I came and I visited the one day, and
yeah,
I think it's a great office. I think it's a nice space to be in, and as long as it's a space where you feel productive,
100%.
then that's what matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's good. It's good to hear, man.
that's my life updates. Any life updates for you, Devo?
Life updates for Devo. I mean,
Heaven.
I don't know. There's not much that I could like say. It's summertime, so it's nice out. So everybody's starting to do the yard work, and I mowed my lawn for the first time, which is always nice.
Nice.
Just to know that, like, I don't know. That's just me, but like the fresh cut grass smell.
Yeah.
That's when I smell that, I'm like, now it's summertime. You know what I mean? Like all of like the dewy smell and all like the rain and all that. That's springy kind of feels. But like, yeah, when people start to cut the grass, I'm like, oh. The heat's
Yep.
coming.
Yep. No, the grass turns greener and the trees starting to get leaves. Yeah.
And I'm big into like gardening and
Are you?
landscaping
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Yeah, like
Cool.
I like having a nice yard. It just makes me feel better. I mean, that's the first thing you see when you walk to your house is your yard. So like you want it to be kind of inviting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't want to walk into this dingy place. Back home again. You know, like yeah, sure. So yeah,
All right. Well,
that's about it though.
thanks, Devo. Thanks for sharing. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening, watching, viewing, and subscribing. Thanks for listening to us yap. If you have any suggestions on who won the Drake versus Kendrick beef, leave them in the description below.
Let us know.
And we got a bunch of exciting guests coming for the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned to that, and we'll see you when you see you. Peace.
Hit that subscribe button. See you
Bye.
later.